You are welcome to SBC 103, still on protecting agencies and community relations. And this happens to be the last session for the Unit 3, which talks about criminal justice system. And for this session, we talk about the need for a more humane approach to deal with crime and deviance. The topic itself is so interesting, and as it has always been, it promises to be interesting, and I expect you to come with me so that we can have a very fruitful discussion. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to grasp the need for a more humane approach to deal with deviance in society. We are going to critique the fairness or otherwise of these new approaches to deal with behavior that are considered deviant in the society. So the first thing we will talk about will be community-based and reintegrative approaches for dealing with deviance. And the first term that we will talk about will be parole. And I believe that we have all, or most of us have heard of parole. What is it? Okay, so parole refers to the release of offenders subjected to good behavior. You get it? So somebody is sent to prison, the person is released for good behavior, the person changes, and the person is taken out. In correctional facilities that the person is sent to, the person has a total changes, and the person is monitored for a while and ascertain that he or she qualifies to go freely for a parole. That is what we term as parole. The next thing that we'll talk about will be conditional sentencing, and it is when guilt or sentence is determined but the person is not sent to prison. So parole, you start a sentence, it is cut off or cut short. Conditional sentences, you don't even go to prison in the first place, even though your guilt has been determined. The next one is probation, where a person usually serves the period of his or her sentence outside the prison. So the person is sentenced, but then the sentence is started. He starts the sentence not from the prison. He starts from the house, maybe community service, and after that he goes to the prisons. The next one is healing circle. This is when the victim and the offender meet with experts who lead and conduct circles where each and everyone talks about their pain, trauma, insecurity as a result of the offense or violence. So somebody goes to the prison for, let's say, murder. The person was beaten and so on and so forth. When a person goes to the prison, the person is given an expert to talk to so that the person's pain is relieved. That is the healing cycle. And the last one is medicalization of deviance. This is interesting, where referrals are made to those who are alleged to have engaged in deviant acts to medical experts to examine their mental states before their guilt is determined. And when we hear these things, it mostly happens in Ghana. And the commonest example that comes into mind is in 2015 or 16, when a gentleman went to Ringwood Assemblies of God with a gun, and this man was arrested. They asked the experts within the mental facility to examine him, and upon his examination they came out with a conclusion that this man is mentally unstable. Isn't it interesting? It is interesting, and I believe you understand the various terms and how these ones are closely related to the reintegrative of deviance better. So all too soon, we've come to the end of the session, and for that matter, the end of the unit where we spoke about criminal justice system. For this session that ended the criminal justice system, we spoke about probation, conditional sentences, parole, healing circles, and medicalization of deviance. We could argue that these approaches are fairer for society because they tend to balance the needs of society, justice, and the need of the offender. That is reformation and then rehabilitation. Any question? Good, no question. So we will continue with the fourth unit. But until we meet for the fourth unit, bye for now. Thank you.